Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Precious Metal Summit Zurich, and it's again virtual. Unfortunately, Commodity TV for you is again the TV partner, of course, and we want to talk now to West Red Lake Gold Mines, and John Kontak, the president, is here with us. Hey, good morning to Canada, I think, right?
Yes, indeed, Canada, Toronto, Ontario.
Okay, super. So it's not too early for you. That is fine. I just did an interview with 3 o'clock in the morning. That's really hefty. Okay, West Red Lake Gold Mines. You are in the famous Red Lake district, and you also have a joint venture with Evolution Mining. So that sounds like a good game plan. Please elaborate a bit on that.
Well, West Red Lake Gold Mines, yes, we're listed on the Canadian Securities Exchange under the symbol RLG, and the Frankfurt Stock Exchange under the symbol HYK. And yes, we have a gold exploration and development project in the historic Red Lake Gold District. And the most developed portion of our property is in joint venture with Evolution Mining. Evolution has spent $1 billion Canadian, about $1 billion Canadian, in the last 18 months, coming from Australia to Ontario, to the Red Lake Gold District. And I think that confirms that although the Red Lake Gold District has produced 30 million ounces of high-grade gold, historically, there's a great belief that there's a lot of gold left in the ground, and I think that's correct.
Absolutely. So yours is the Rowan Mine Property. So what is, let's say, the plans on this? What do you want to do with Evolution here together? Will this be the next mine? Will this be a spin out in the future? So what's going on there?
What we've done historically as a management team, and Tom Meredith, our executive chairman, and Ken Guy, our exploration manager, this will be the 3rd time that we've developed and monetized gold exploration and development assets in Ontario. Our last 2 companies had projects in Timmins, Ontario, another very prolific Ontario gold mining camp that's produced 80 million ounces of gold. And we've taken companies that were like West Red Lake Gold Mines with market capitalizations of less than $15 million and 43-101 resources of modest amounts, like 50,000 ounces, and developed the assets to 2 million ounces of a 43-101 resource, and sold the company for, in one case, a valuation of $250 million to McEwen Mining, headed up by Rob McEwen, the founder of Goldcorp, which of course was founded in Red Lake, Ontario. So that was our last project in Timmins, a $250 million deal we did at the end of the last cycle, 2011. So now 10 years later, we're in Red Lake, Ontario, and yes, the most developed portion of our project is at the Rowan Mine, the former producing Rowan Mine. There's 3 former mines on our property. You find gold where gold has been found before. We have 1.1 million inferred ounces on a 43-101 basis. It's graded 7.57 grams per ton, and it's all within 500 meters of surface. And we put a hole down to 1,000 meters and found a mineralization that holds gold deposits. So we're looking forward to going to depth and expanding our resource from 1.1 million to more like 1.5 million. And what we've been doing recently is develop a second deposit on our properties at the NT zone. We've outlined a couple 100,000 ounces with 40 drill holes and about 10,000 meters of drilling. And we're looking forward to developing a second 43-101 deposit on the property. And we think we can outline about 500,000 ounces over the next 24 to 30 months. So what it would mean in total on the property would go from 1.1 million ounces to more like 2 million ounces on a 43-101.
That's exactly the target you set.
Excuse me?
That's exactly the target you set.
Yeah, that's the target, to get to 2 million ounces. Now, I think it's very important that right now in our market capitalization, we're getting about $15 an ounce in the ground. But if capital moves into the sector and we get a good precious metal run here, and we think we may be on the front end of that with, nothing predicts it more than negative real interest rates. So with inflation, the CPI in the US was released last week. It's at a 31-year high. So inflation seems to be baking itself into the cake, and interest rates can't go up because there's too much sovereign debt. The US is now at $30 trillion, or getting very close. The same in the EU, China, Japan. So negative real interest rates creates a positive precious metal environment. We want to get to 2 million ounces, and ounces get revalued upwards. Rather than getting $15 an ounce, historically speaking, you get more like $150 an ounce. That's what we got in our last deal. So if we have $150 an ounce in the ground and we have 2 million ounces, we have a $300 million asset, and our company now has less than a $15 million market cap. And that's the kind of leverage you can get in the gold exploration development asset in a well-developed mining camp in Red Lake, Ontario, with mills, roads, power, workforce. We're not in the Yukon or Latin America or Central Africa or Southeast Asia. We're right in the fairway.
The perfect jurisdiction.
Where location. It's like real estate.
Exactly. Question: Mount Jamie Mine Property. This is something you are owning 100%. So what have you done this year there? What are the plans for next year?
Well, we have not been drilling at Mount. We have there's 3 former mines on the property: Mount Jamie, Red Summit, and Rowan. Where we have been working with our joint venture partners, and where we have the resource is at the Rowan Mine portion of the property, where we were joint ventured historically with Goldcorp, but of course Evolution has now picked up those assets. The Red Summit Mine and the Mount Jamie Mine properties, we own 100%. We have not been drilling there recently, but we have historic data, and what we're doing at Mount Jamie right now is finishing off a draft 43-101 resource report. So we will in the future be releasing, which would be a 3rd resource on our property. So there's lots of gold on our property. We're just drilling it out, adding ounces as we drill, doing things like potential bulk samples, permitting, showing economics on a preliminary economic assessment basis so people can see the CapEx, the mining method, the IRR and NPV of bringing the mine into production, and just generally making these ounces more valuable. And then what we've done is we do a stock-for-stock, non-taxable transaction with a Canadian mining company, like in the past, McEwen Mining. Another asset was picked up by Cisco Mining, blue chip Canadian gold miners. Everyone gets upgraded to more senior paper. The management team is well vested in the company. I have a lot of stock. The rest of the management has a lot of stock. We bought on the open market. We bought in private placements just at the same price as everyone else. And then
what is your percentage?
Stock for stock transaction and sell it. Everyone gets upgraded to more senior paper and can lay off their positions from there.
Okay, so what is your percentage, meaning management-wise in the company? How much stock do you hold, and who are other large shareholders?
I have about 4.5 million shares. Tom Meredith and his family has about 7.5 million shares. So that's, right there, the 2 top managers were well invested in the company.
And other large institutions or already interest from institutions?
The prior companies that we've monetized, Excellent Capital Flow-Through Fund, headed up by Dan Pemberton. He's the CEO and the CIO. He's a good friend of ours. He did very well in the prior companies that we've monetized for his flow-through fund holders. At one time, his flow-through funds were amongst the top 1 or 2 flow-through funds in Canada, and that was on the back of our success with our companies. It was called Lex and VG Gold that we sold to McEwen Mining. So they're the largest shareholder of those companies, and now they're the largest shareholder of this company. So whether it's the institutional backing, a lot of the same retail stockholders, the management team, the exploration team, it's the same team that's has a proven track record of monetizing gold exploration and development assets in Ontario. We like Ontario. It's a rule of law jurisdiction. When COVID hit, the Premier of Ontario announced, one of the first things he did was announce that mining is an essential industry in Ontario, and mining will continue in Ontario in the COVID era. So we got the government at our back. We're in a well-developed mining camp, and we're an experienced management team.
Super. Thank you very much for that. Last question. What is cash in the bank? Because that all costs money.
Yes, we're light on cash now. We're always light on cash now this time of year, but we always do a year-end raise because of the flow-through benefits to Canadian taxpayers invested in companies with Canadian resource assets. We will raise money, but we always raise money consistent with market conditions. So it'll be a relatively light raise, $500,000 to $700,000. But if capital continues to move in the sector, we're seeing the price of gold in US dollar terms breaking through resistance. It's now in the high 1800s. If it continues to move, our stock price will move with it. Last year, when money moved into the gold sector, we went from a 5-cent stock to a 20-cent stock. If that happens in 2022, we'll raise larger amounts of monies at higher stock price, start drilling out this property more, adding ounces, and eventually getting ready for it to be sold to a Canadian gold producer who will bring the mine into production.
Absolutely. Super. Sounds like a great game plan. Thank you very much. And yeah, wish you all the best for that, and already Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. And I look forward to seeing everyone in Zurich in person in 2022.
Super, me too. Thank you very much, John.
Very good. Have a wonderful day.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was John Kontak from West Red Lake Gold Mines for the Precious Metal Summit Zurich virtual. Yeah, I think everything is set. Check out this company. Thanks for watching us, and bye-bye from Switzerland.